All right, I'm at a point that I figured I should film some stuff with an update on what I've done so far. Um, First, I went through and cleaned off all of these turnouts that I got for this section, and I'll do it, as I'm going back. Um, the reason for that was to um, just make sure that they were clean, and I can clean the tops of the rails and the sides of the rails later. But and I was going to use alcohol, but all the dust in that was coming off really nicely with just the toothbrush, so I left it at that. Then I got this turnout placed and got the hole drilled for the servo, and the point or the music wire coming up, and was happy going. And all I did really was move this back maybe about an inch or so. The curve I can smoothen out because as you can see, there is quite a large straight piece there. So I could shrink that just a little bit and the curve be a little better. And I apologize for the loud neighbor riding whatever device they're riding. But this is where I stopped to film, because at first I was going to glue the track down, and then I remembered that I've got all of these track nails and then almost another full pack of track nails. So I'll end up using just track nails. With the black tie, it blends in real well and you can't really see it anyway. But I'm even prone to accidents and mistakes, and I think all of us are, but I got looking at my plan, and there's one turnout here, which is that one, and then I forgot that there's supposed to be a second turnout here. So I'd already got this all put down, got the second piece of flex track in, and had cut that down, and then realized what I had done. So it's getting pulled up. I've already removed the nails. They're sitting in a pile right there. So anyway, I'm frustrated that I cut it, but I'm not too worried about having lost anything. Because what I'm thinking of doing, or what I'm planning on doing, is the rest of the tracks over here, I'm going to have, where are they at? There they are. Some of these re-railers. So that'll make up for the length that I'm going to have to cut again. But I can still use the track that I cut, so it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, just to show that, there was a mistake in the process, and I've gone back and fixing it. So I'm going to do that and then be back with another update once I get a little further. All right, have the yard tracks laid, and everything is working great with it. I've pushed cars back and forth, and it works, and it's nice and smooth. I did pull down some locomotives, but just so that I could make sure that it wouldn't be longer than the re-rail track, because that's what I had based this off of for the locomotive escape from the runaround that's going to be right here that I'm getting ready to lay. But I needed to test and see where this turnout was going to be, on whether it was going to be here or if I needed to scoot it up a little bit, because I did decide, like I was saying in an earlier clip, that I want to have a rip track and the engine facility track. And in order to have that, I needed to make sure that the locomotive and at least one car would fit. If there has to be, two cars that come in, like one of the tank cars, and then if I ever get like a sand hopper or something like that, or one of the other cars that needs to go to the rip track, then, they may just have to split and do 2 moves. But in terms of just having one car, it works perfectly. This is my longest car that I would ever be running on here. And so that's, works, and that's where we're going to do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the inner track done for that to get that all measured out and put in. And then I'll take and do the second runaround piece from there to there. So that's where we're at, and I'll be back once I get some more work done. All right, final update for tonight. I've gotten the track put down up to the double slip here. I put these in, or these 2 turnouts in, they're just sitting there. I needed to test some stuff and have a little bit of extra room there. And the one thing that I've found is this curve is a little tight. I don't know what radius it is. I've kind of played with it to try and make it less sharp, but it kind of isn't working the way that I thought it would. There's a little bit of an S curve here, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal there. At least it hasn't been from my testing. And the rest of the yard is 90% complete. The reason I'm saying it's 90% is I want to make sure that I have enough code 100 to get everything else done. And then I'll come back and do the RIP track and the engine track, or engine facility track. That way, if there isn't enough, I can use the code 83 that I have and just come off of that. I'm 90% sure that I'll have enough, just because it is, when I did any rail, it said I needed 22 sticks, and I ended up buying 25, so should be good to go. I have been running these cars back and forth through this curve, and I've decided that the longer boxcar, it will go through, and it looks a little weird, but it does go through. And as long as it's a slow speed, nothing seems to derail or that. So that's kind of the plan anyway, is that this is going to be a slow rolling layout. And if someone decides to run faster and derails a car, then that's on them, on the operator. So if it does become a bigger problem in the long run, I haven't put any nails in it yet to kind of let it work itself out to however it needs to be, and I can adjust it if I have to. But if it comes into that it just is too much of a hassle, I can have it be limited to where it doesn't ever go into the yard, and just say that you can't take them past the double slip going into the yard. But they could come off of this side and back it up back over there. And there's still the 2 back industries and the 3 industries here that it could go to. So either way, it should still be able to be ran. It's just a matter of where. And I did take, let's see if I got this polarity right. Nope. I did take one of my DC engines and put a 9-volt on it, and it does run around as well. It's a little fast. I did try pushing the cars through with it, and that's where I was seeing the derail from that. So other than that, everything is looking good. I think part of it was just that I had moved this turnout up further than what was in the plan. So I think that was a hindrance. But to counter it, I did move the double slip this way just a hair. And it seems, like I said, it seems to be working, even though it's not exactly how I wanted it. So anyway, that's where we're at. And we'll be back probably tomorrow once I get some more work done down here.